Hello everyone, welcome to another coding tutorial. Today we're going to be creating an API using PostgreSQL and Flask for Python. And make sure you have the following installed. So go to python.org and hover this download button and make sure you have the Python installed. If you have Windows, choose the Windows option. If you have a Mac OS, do the same thing. And make sure you have also Postman installed. It's basically will help us doing test our API request. So go to Postman, download the desktop app. Again, if you have Windows, app, Linux, etc. Okay, I think that's all you need for now. And if you don't have VS Code, or you can use any other compiler if you want VS Code. So let's do VS Code.dev, I think. Nope. Let's go to VS Code. Let's see VS Code. Whatever. So VS Code. Type on Google VS Code download. Press here and go to VS Code and you can install it here again. Okay, I'll make sure I list all these links down below in the description. Okay, so once you have them installed, oh, one last thing I forgot to mention, you make sure you have PostgreSQL installed. So Postgres download, click on the first one and install Postgres. So Python, Postman, VS Code, or any other coding compiler, and PostgreSQL. Okay, so make sure you have these installed. So once you, and make sure you, if you want, you can pause the video, and once you have everything installed and get ready to go, then you can, start the video. So first of all, I want to check the versions that I have. So I'm going to say Python 3 dash version. I have the 3.9. You can do the same thing for PostgreSQL by typing psql dash version. Oops, version. And I have PostgreSQL 13. Okay, and once you have it downloaded, you can see the in the top bar. I mean, I'm using Mac. I don't know how Windows works, but on Mac you can see that here. That means it's installed, and you can also see the version right here. Okay. So with that being said, let's clear this and let's navigate to the desktop. So cd desktop, and here we are going to create our project. So let's say make dir. Let's call it Flask Postgres, like that. And you can see that that folder got created right here. And let me just open VS. So let's say code. Let's navigate to that folder that we created and press code space dot. This will open the VS Code for you. So it's empty. There is nothing there yet. You can see that it's empty. So what we want to do is create a virtual environment and then install the I'm going to install a couple libraries, but first of all, let's create our virtual environment. So let's clear, or I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to say virtual env, and let's call it vnv, enter. And this will create a venv right here, as you can see. And I also want to, now let's activate it. So you can type source and venv, then bin, and then activate. And now you can see that it's activated. Okay. And now we can, let me clear the terminal. So now we can install the dependencies or the libraries. So pipe3 installed. So we want Flask, and I want psycho pg2 binary and python.env, python-.env, like that. Okay, psycho pg, make sure everything is correct, and then enter. So this will install all the libraries. So if I say now pipe3 freeze, you can see that I have them all right here. So but what I want to do, I want to store them in a file called requirements.txt. So let me clear the terminal and say pipe freeze and the greater than sign, and then the name of the file, which is requirements.txt, like that. And this will create a requirement.tsv file with the dependencies that we have installed. Okay, so let's close VS Code. We don't need this anymore. And let's see. So let's come here, create a file. Oops. Let's call this one app.py. And let's create another file called connection.py. Okay, so in the app.file, let's just import Flask. So let's say from Flask, I want to import Flask, and I want to import JSONify and request. Okay, this is just Flask. And now let's create a variable called app is equal to Flask, this Flask that we imported with capital F, okay? And then pass it __name, and we can now create our route. So I'm going to say app.route. I'm going to say here to-dos, and the method is get. Let's fix this. Like that. The method is get, and let's create a function called get to-dos, and I'm just going to return, JSONify to-dos. I'm just going to say hello. Okay, and what is this? Yes, whatever. You can do whatever you want with that. Let's clear this, and I'm gonna say here, let's now run the database. So I mean the Flask app. So let's say if __main is equal to __, is if __name _ is equal to __main _ and then do this, which is we're just gonna run the app. But I don't want to do it by default. I want to specify the host. So by default, I'm gonna say this is equal to 000, and you can do the port. It's 5000. I don't mind, and save. So I'm gonna say now Python 3 to run the file. App.py. Oh, it says that the port is another program, so that means this port is unused. So I'm gonna say here 8080, save, clear the terminal, run the file, and now it's running. Okay, you can see that running on HTTP 8080. Okay, so let's go to Postman. So search for Postman and open Postman. And let's type there. Oh, look, I've been working on this before. So it's HTTP localhost 8080 and to-dos. So if I press get, you can get the to-dos. Okay, the hello world that we have. Cool. Go back to the terminal, and I mean the VS Code. Go to Python connection.py. Sorry, clear this. Let me make this lower. Now we're going to create our we're going to now create our connection. So the first thing is I want to import psychopg 2, and I want to say from .env oh my god .env import load env, and I want to import os as well. Okay, and just for now we're not going to put any we're not using this right now, just for later before pushing this to GitHub, and I will show you. Okay, so for now we're going to use psychopg. So I'm going to say the database URL is equal to is going to be PostgreSQL inside here. So PostgreSQL. Oh, we have the autocomplete but we don't have any database yet, so let's go ahead and create a database. So we're gonna call this database Flask to do. Okay, so here you're gonna specify what database you're using. We're using Postgres, and then by default the name, at localhost by default the port is 5432, and the name of the database. So let's save that and let's go and create one. So what is the terminal? So search for the terminal. Okay, so again, check if you have PostgreSQL installed by PSQL -- version. We have 3, so I'm going to say PSQL. You can type here create db, and we call that Flask to do. So Flask to do. And that database got created. Now, if I say PSQL, and you can say if you say / and list, I think that would show you all the databases you have. So we can see that we have Flask to do right here. So we do have a database now created. Quit that. And so I think that's it. Let's leave the terminal open. Go back here and say now, so client, I'm going to create a variable called client is equal psychopg2.connect to this database URL. Okay, but later on we're going to store this database in an environment variable in a file called .env, but don't worry about that now. You can create one now, but don't worry about it right now. And I'm going to have a variable called gb is equal to client dot cursor. Okay, and inside this cursor we're going to say cursor factory is equal to psychopg extract dict cursor. This is basically going to convert to an object. So let's import that. So I'm going to say import psychopg2 extras. Okay, so now let's come here and say this is going to be create the table, and this side here we're going to say here this is a database connection. So we connected database and then we create our one table. And by the way, we can also create a file called models.py. So models.py. Okay, leave it empty for now. So for creating the table, I'm just going to create a variable called table name to-dos, and I'm going to create here a function called def create table. Create table, and I'm going to say, so we have to drop the table if it doesn't exist, or you can simply say we can do a couple checks. Okay, so I'm going to say here drop table. I'm going to say, well, yeah, you can say, so let's see, create underscore to do query is equal to, oh nice, you have the autocomplete. So it's gonna be, I don't like the autocomplete thing because it's giving me stuff that I don't want. So I'm gonna come like here and say here create table if not exist to-dos, and we can say here that the ID is serial primary key and the title is varchar 255 not null, and the description not text. I want the description to be varchar as well, like that. Make sure you spell it correct, and that's the end of the line. and you can close this like that. Okay, and so why this is like that? Okay, I see now. Indentation stuff. Okay, so in here, right here, what you want to do is under here you can say now gb dot execute and this create to do query, and then you can say client dot commit like that. And if everything goes well, I'm just going to say print created table plus the table name, or I can simply say table created successfully. So table created successfully in Postgres. Nice. So here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a check, not insert data. I'm gonna do a check if table exists, so you guys can see everything. So check if table exists like that. If table exists. Okay, so here we're gonna create a function called check if exists. Okay, and so I'm gonna have a try and catch, try and except we're basically here printing an error. Okay, but from psychopg dot error as e, so that's going to be the error. And so basically this function from I think in PostgreSQL, it's basically what we're going to do is just checking if this table exists, it will return true, and if it's not exist, it will return false. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say here gb dot execute and add 3 like that, 3 like that, and create a new line. So in here, I'm going to say select exists, open that, and I'm going to, inside that, I'm going to say select one from, this is in PostgreSQL, so information that's underscore schema tables, okay, where, not table name, not yet. So I think it's table catalog, yeah. So table underscore catalog, which is the database name, so we call that Flask to do, okay? And then, and you can say and the table schema is public, and the table name is equal to to-dos. So if you do this, I'm going to show you right now how this works. So if I'm just copy this and go to PostgreSQL, let me clear this, and if I paste that like that, it says exist F. That means false. We don't have this table yet. It's not created yet, right? So instead of here table name to-dos, I can simply add a placeholder for this, so by $S, and here I can say table name, okay, and let's open, I think, yeah, and right after here pass that table name like that. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, I'm gonna return the, so gb.fetch1 and the first index. So this is gonna give me the value whether it's true or false. Okay, so now let's come here. You can see that. So I'm gonna say print f so table name, and check if exist function that we passed it the table name, which is called to-dos. And so I'm just going to leave it like that, and now I'm going to do my check. So if check table name is equal to false, so if this is false, I want to create a new table. Okay, and else I'm going to print table already exists, right? And I want to do the same thing here so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So if this table name from this function exists, right? Oh, let me spell this right. Table, like that. Okay, so if this table name exists, if it doesn't exist, which is false, I want to create a new table. Okay, else I'm gonna just say this table already exists. So if I save this and come right here, so I'm gonna clear this, and I'm gonna run this file by typing Python 3, not app, we are in connection.py, so connection.py. Oh, we have an error after missing connection string. Let's see what is our error. Let's see where is our error. So it said that we're missing something. Psycho invalid DSN, missing this. Huh, after Postgres. Really? Let's see here. Let me see. Where is this? Oh, okay. I think post, we typed this wrong. So it's PostgreSQL and then localhost 5432 and the name of the database, which is Flask to do. So save that, clear this, run the file again. Nice. So this is a check that what we've done here. So table to do's exist. It was not, it was false. That means it was not there. And then we created the table. We executed this function. This function. That's why you see table created successfully. And then the check became true. So if I run this again, you will see true here and true here. So let's, exactly. So you saw true here, so we have a table. So if I go to Postgres now, and if I run the same command, you can see that, whoa, what happened? Let's see. Let me quit this. Clear. PSQL Flask to do. And we run that. And you can see that exist. This G means true. If it's F, it's false. So it's true now. Okay. So that means that the table exists. And now I'm just going to say select star from to-dos. Oops. Sorry, from. Yes. And you can see that we have an ID, title, and description. But yeah, I think you can add date if you want. You can do that if you want. So I'm just going to come here and say date is going to be equal to time stamp. No, not null. I want to say default the current timestamp. So let's go ahead and drop this database. So let me say, so drop, let me get out of this by \q. So drop, not database, table, sorry. So drop table to-dos. Oh, drop no E in it, like that. So the table is dropped. So now we can do our check again. Not clear. So if I run that, this, you can see now why I'm having this thing. Oh, okay. So you can see now the exist is false because it doesn't exist, but we're gonna create now one by running this file again. Wait, something weird happened. Oh, I don't need this at the end. Save. And table now it got created. And if I do select from to-dos, you can see that we have a date now. Okay, so let's go and work on the rest of the stuff. So we got the table exist. Now we're gonna close this file. Oops, let me clear this. I'm gonna close this file and go to models. So models, we already have the database. So create it. I'm going to go to models.py and say from the file called connection, I want to import GB and I want to import the client. And here I just want to import psychopg2 like that. So here it's going to be creates a to-do. Okay, so I'm going to say def creates to-do that has a here title and description as a parameter. And I'm going to have my try catch. So try. I don't want this stuff, man. And come here, say except is going to be PG error, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna do my query. So it's going to be gb dot execute, and then here I'm gonna say insert into the table called to-dos. I wanna say that title and description. Well, it's already there, completed it for me. Like that, okay? And then you can say here, so this is basically a placeholder for the title, and the second one is for the description that we're gonna pass later. And here I'm gonna say client.commit and print a message saying the created to do with title and description. Okay, like that. Or I'm just gonna say created successfully. I don't need much stuff. So created to do successfully. Okay. And let's go and test that before we move forward. So copy this create to do and go to app.py and import that. So import. Nope, it's a from models. Import this create to do function. And here I want to say, so I'm going to say here data is equal to request get JSON, and I'm going to return the that function with the data and description in it. So like that, create to do. We're going to pass it data.title, or you can do like this. You can say title. Wait, this is a get. This is not a post. Sorry. So let's see here. Let's leave it like that. Come here and say app dot route to dos, and this one is going to be post, and let's say create a to do routes like that, and you're going to say paste that stuff, or you can say here data Oh, we have already completed for you. That's cool. So this here will show you that the data was created successfully. So we created the route for to-dos and the method is post, and the data is going to be a JSON. So we're going to say this is basically rec.body and express. Same thing. So data of the title, and I want the description, and pass them to that function that we created from the models.py. And if everything is good, then we're simply going to say the table created successfully. Save, go to Postman, go to to-dos. This is going to be post, go to body, and make sure it's JSON. So I'm going to say here C++ for the title, and the description, I'm going to say I love C++. Send the request. Oops, I got an error because my file is not running. So go ahead and run your file. So it's going to be app.py. Now it's running. Go test that. And it says to do created successfully. Go to your table, PSQL, the name of your database, Flask, to do, select from to-dos, and we got the data. So C++, and I love that, and I love C++, and then we got the dates when it's created. So it's 439 here, you can see right here on the top. It just became 39 and it just became 40. Okay, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and do another one. So I'm gonna say this one is gonna be C sharp, and here C sharp. What's going on? Post, create successfully, do the same thing, and we got them both now in the database. Okay, so cool. Now we are gonna get a single to-do by ID, and we're gonna get all the to-dos, but I kind of want to create a function here to format that. So let's go to models.py first, and before this creating to-do, let's just say get all to-dos. So I'm going to create a function called get all to-dos, and again try and catch. So try and come here, say accept. Okay, like that. Same process, and I'm gonna say here db dot execute select from to-dos order by, I don't want that, I want ASC, like that. Okay, and come down here, oops, and say to-dos, go to fetch all, and I want to return the to-dos. So the indentation stuff is killing me. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so let me just do this real quick. So come here and say return db dot fetch all. So I want to fetch all of them. So this basically will convert it into like so this will be like return all to do's, or maybe just like that. It will give you like basically an array, I think. Okay, so and here you can print before the return, you can print got all to do's successfully. Okay, and just fix your function, or like that. Yes, that works too. So save this, come here, go to here, and simply paste that function, but make sure you import it here as well. Let's see how this works. So if we go and get all the to-dos, I got an error JSON serializable. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm basically going to make this an array like that. This is make this 200. Oops, like that. Save. Let's try it again. Get. Still have that error. So what I'm gonna do is create here a function to format that. So I'm gonna say def format to-dos. Basically, I'm gonna loop through all the to-dos. So this is going to be returned. I'm gonna make this an array, and I'm gonna loop right here. Okay, to-dos. So this is what I'm going to be returning. So I want the ID, the title from this to-do, and now I'm gonna say to-do. To-dos is equal to that function get to-dos, and now that I have that function get to-dos, I want to come here, say new to-do, new to-do, to-do is going to be equal to format to-do with these to-dos, and now I'm going to return the new to-do. Hopefully this makes sense. And by the way, here is going to be 201 status code of created I think. Okay, so we're looping through this and we're basically displaying the values. That's what that function doing. Okay, save and go to this. Huh, that's weird. I got an error. Let's see what the error is again. Recursion error, maximum recursion depth exceeded. Okay, so let's see what is going on. What the hell is going on? That is interesting. Did we create this? Go connection. Yeah, the dates. Well, from to do's order by this. Turn gb.fetch all. And new to-dos is going to get to-dos. Oh, because they have the same name. Let's call this route. Oh my god, I didn't see that. Okay, so it's this one is called to-dos, and the function from the model is called to-dos as well. So that's why it is. So if we save this now and do it again, and here we got our to-dos, and you can see that. Nice. So if let's go ahead and create another to-do. So post body, create another to-do. I'm gonna say React, and then I love React, like that. Boom, created successfully. And if we go and get all the to-dos, you can see that we got the React. And if you go to your table and select from to-dos, you can see that you got the React table. Now, what we're gonna work on now is to delete a to-do and update a to-do and get a to-do by IG. So let's do them all together. So here, I'm gonna say update a to-do, update a to-do, to-do, and here I'm gonna say delete a to-do, and here I'm gonna say get a to-do by IG. Well, I want to kind of first do this one first. So again, this is very straightforward. It's going to be select from to-dos where ID is equal to that placeholder. So I'm going to say def get a to-do by ID. Same process. Okay, so select from to-dos where ID is equal to this, and print a message and fetch one. So that will give you like a one fetch, okay, like one raw, I think. save, and updated to do is going to be the same process. So def updated to do by ID. So it's going to have ID and title and description. Update to do set title to this title, okay, and the description to this description, where ID is equal to an ID that we're going to specify in our app.py. And deleted to do, again, same kind of stuff. So I'm going to say deleted to do by ID, and we're going to execute. So we're going to delete from to do's where ID is equal to this ID, and we're going to print a message. If there is an error, we're going to handle that. And I think that's it. So we're going to need get it to do by ID, updated to do. So go back to app.py, come here. So I want to get it to do, updated to do, deleted to do. Okay, so now get it to do by ID. So I'm going to say app.routes. So to do's, make sure this is you put this ID in here, and get, and we're going to say get it to do by ID route, pass this ID into the to do function route, and we created automatically a variable called to do, which is get to do by ID. Wait, this is get to do by ID, right? Let's see. Let's see. Not that. Models. Yes, get to do by ID. Make the to do by ID. Huh. Let's see what we done here wrong. So get to do by ID. Okay. I don't know what this is again. Nice. Okay. And then we're sending that to do by ID to the front end. So let's test that out. Go here. I want the first to do get, and I got the first to do. But again, let's format this so you can see it clearly. So I'm gonna say I want to say the new to do is going to be format this to do, and I'm going to return that to do with formatted function. So get, oops, I got an error. Int object is not, so I'm going to say this to do is going to be an array. Save. And I got my single to do. Now if I want the second to do, give me that, and you can see that I got the second to do, third to do, and etc. And now we're gonna do the same thing for now updates. So I'm gonna say here app.route to do's, and this is gonna be put. So the method is put. Same process, guys. I think you guys got it. Same thing, auto completed because we don't want to waste time. So the data is request.json and the title, description, and update the to do ID, which is the ID that we're going to pass here. And we want to update the title and the description. And we're going to send a message basically saying updated successfully. Let's go and try that. So switch this to put. I want to update the first one. First of all, let's see what I have. So the first one is C++, so I want to update that with this ID. So I'm going to say ID1. This now is going to be C# instead of C++. So I love C#. Send to do updated successfully. So if I go to get all the to-dos, or maybe that to do, you can see that it got updated successfully, and you can see it right here. Okay? I mean right here. If you go now, this C++ should disappear, and now it's C# for the first to do. Okay? Cool. And now the last one is going to be deleted to do by ID. So app.route, and this is again, it's an integer ID, and the method is delete. So I'm going to say def deleted to do by ID, and you're going to pass that to the deleted to do by ID from the model and say this deleted successfully. Same thing. Come here. This method is delete, and I want to delete the first to do with that ID. Boom, delete it successfully. Now if we go, this one should disappear. Select from to-dos. Now we only have 2 to-dos, and I want to delete the second to-do. Boom, that to-do deleted successfully. Now I have only 1 to-do. Okay, so I think, guys, that is it. And if you want to do more fancy stuff for searching a specific to-do by query, so let's do just the last one. So search for to-do. I'm gonna say search to-do. So you're gonna say select from to-dos where title like this or description like that. Okay, you can pass them both and search successfully and fetch them all. So I'm gonna come here and say app. Well, let's get that function. So search to-dos like that, and so here dot routes. This is going to be a get request, so it's going to be to-dos. This is a get request, not by IG though. Let's just say here search, and come here say search to-do routes. So I think this, so we're gonna go now for this route, and if you, so we're doing the same process, search to do, we're passing it that to do, and we're formatting it, and we're returning that by JSON. So I'm gonna come here and say search, and here you can add a name for example, I want React. This is a get request. I say I got the not found. So let's see what is going on here. This is interesting. So let's see. So I can do it like this. Yeah, so I'm gonna say here search. It's gonna be as like that. Okay, and put it here as well. And I think that's it. I don't need to do anything else because, yeah, hopefully this will work. So save and go back and say search. Let's see first of all what we have. Let's try this now. It says not found. Is it capital like that? Huh, that's interesting. Okay, let's see what's going on. We only have a title already, so it's React. It's the only one we have for now. So this is to do. Oh, let's add this search here because we have this similar route up there and we don't want that. So let's save now. So go here to this search to-dos and get it to do. Nice, and we got that React. But let's create more to-dos and search for a specific to-do. So this is post C++, boom. Oops, not search, just to-dos. Oh god. Okay, post, create successfully. Let's keep adding more to-dos. Test one, post that, test two, post that, test three, post that. Now let's see all the to-dos that we have. Okay, we got React, C++, test1, test2, and test3. Okay, so now let's search for a specific to do. Search, and I want test1. Let's see, like that. Test1. Nice, and we got that to do. And I want test2, and we got test2, and I want now C++. And I got that. That's basically, if you want to basically filter it and you know, be more specific about something. And I think, guys, that's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and push this to GitHub. We're now able to read the data, and we're able to delete the data, update the data, and search the data by ID, and even search for a specific data by name or description. Okay, I think that's it, guys, for this video. But before we end this video, I want to go ahead and push this to GitHub. So let me close this. Clear. Boom. Go to, let me close all this stuff. Go to GitHub and create new repository, Flask PostgreSQL, call it, and the owner is me. Create a repository, and just go ahead and copy these commands to your local. So let me close this. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this either. So open your terminal. Back Q, clear this. Oops, clear. And go to navigate to that folder. So desktop, it's called Flask Postgres, right? Is that what is it called? Yeah. And say git init. Okay. And git add dot. So git add space dot, and copy this. Commit branches main and the URL, and finally git push. Nice. If I reload now, now it's available on GitHub. So view code, and you can see all the stuff that we created. Okay. app.py and etc. Okay. Oh, we forgot to put that in the env file, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do that now. You don't want to post URLs to your GitHub. Okay, so let me see. Close this, open that Flask Postgres, and so here, what you want to say is, here you're gonna say, copy this and go to .env file, say database underscore URL is equal to this. Okay, and copy this and say here, so not here, it's connection. Say here load env. Okay, and this is going to be equal to os.getEnv and the database URL. Okay, that should be doing the same thing, but now in our git ignore, let's create a git ignore file. So dot git ignore, and go to Google and type Python git ignore. That will help you. Python git ignore, and go to this and copy all that stuff. Go all the way up until here and copy it and paste that in your git ignore. Save. And now we're gonna push this again to GitHub. So let me close this. I don't need it. Come here, clear. Because here you can see in our GitHub, you can see we have all the stuff there. So I'm gonna so basically I don't want to push this env because now it has our database URL and we don't want to show that to people. So I'm gonna say git add and git commit -m, add a message, changed, added an env file. That's my message, and then git push u origin u and then origin main push reload this view code. That's weird. I didn't ignore the env file. That's interesting. Okay, let's test this out again. Let's see. This is the project. So let's say code here. I don't think this env file, this git ignore helped us on anything. Okay, let's say do this again. Or let's see. Python git ignore. Oh, I think I know why. I don't know. Let's test this out again. Let me come here. Copy all this stuff. Copy that. Go to git ignore. Paste all that stuff in there. Okay, and let's test it out again. If it doesn't work, we're gonna find another way. So git add git commit file2 git push origin main. So we reload this one. It's still there. That is weird. So let's ignore something. So git ignore. Cache. Okay, that looks like it, I guess. Stack Overflow. No file. Nope. Not what I want. Let's try this one. So git remove or rm -- cached and the name of the file. So I think it's .env. Oh, cached with C. Cached with C. Okay, so let's do the same thing again. Git add, git commit, and git push origin main. Okay, that works. Well, I'm sorry about that, but we don't have the env file again. But we do have it locally though, so that's a good way. Go ahead. If you don't find a solution, try another solution, etc. By the way, this is the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe for new videos if I make a video in the future, so you get notified. And thank you so much and have a great day.